And healthy competition is good, but it can move to a place very quickly where it's unhealthy competition, and that's what we want to squelch. And we don't want to add fuel to that fire. And so maybe you're asking, okay, how can we lead our kids toward unity rather than competition? And we want to give you just 3 quick ideas of how to develop unity among your children. And the first way is to recognize and verbalize each of your children's gifts and abilities. Your children are born with different gifts, different talents, different abilities, and that is a wonderful thing. And because that helps to bring fullness to the family. Each one of them brings something special and unique to your specific family. And I think about my 4 daughters and how they're all created very uniquely. I don't want them to be cookie cutters of me or even of my wife. I want them to be who God uniquely created them to be, because that brings something special to our home. And so what we want to do is we want to take some time and discuss how each of those gifts and abilities add value to our family. You know, you think about how Esau hunted, and what a valuable skill that can be, and what that adds to the family. Jacob was not a hunter. Jacob liked to be at home, and he liked to do the cooking and all those sorts of things. Neither one of those is better than the other. Neither one of those makes one of those children have more value to the other. They have different skills, different talents, different abilities, different interests, and all of those things bring completion to the family. So what we want to be careful of is we're going to have children that we relate to better. Just as these parents had children they related to better because of what they did. So I can't show favoritism to the child who has my same interests while downplaying the interests of the child who has different interests than me. So we want to point out the value in each of our children and how that brings something into the family. So instead of competition, we want to focus in on collaboration.
That's right. And so one thing that we try to do in our home is we talk about the gifts and abilities that each child has, and we talk about it as a family in front of the other children. So this is something that you do that is so special. This is your gift, and it's really important to our family. Now, as we recognize and we bring positive recognition to these gifts and abilities, we have to make sure that we don't differentiate in value. There is no difference in value of the children. There are differences in gifts and abilities, right? But nobody has more value than anyone else. We see in Genesis 25:27, when the boys grew up, Esau was a skillful hunter, a man of the field, while Jacob was a quiet man, dwelling in the tents. What if they were both quiet men dwelling in the tents? That's not good. It's good that they had differences in abilities. I think about our church family. Each of you bring a different gift into this room. Each of you bring something to the table that I don't bring. And that's why we have to work together. It's a team, and family should be a team as well.
And we do have people in here that don't have kids at home. Okay, but you are leaders in different aspects in our community, whether that's you have your own business or whatever else. This is a good exercise for your team, too. To, in front of other teammates, just team members, just go down the line and talk about what the gifts and values and abilities and how all those things work together so that we can accomplish what we need to accomplish. You know, I think about the luncheon that we had yesterday, and it took so many volunteers who had different talents, different abilities to make it all happen. And we want to bring that same thought process and philosophy down into the home level with our kids.
That's right. And no one's gift is more important than anyone else's. And I think that we understand that. However, sometimes those little thoughts can creep in. Well, all I did was this, or my job wasn't as important, or that, or they got more recognition than I did. And we have to try to work to kind of watch that in our homes, because that can happen in the home as well. And helping the children to understand that their gift is very valuable, they are just as valuable as everyone else, and that their specific gift is really a gift to the family, and that it can be used in a great way for God. We have to remind our children that they are made differently, uniquely by God, on purpose. The way that they were made was not a mistake. Maybe you have heard your child say something like this. I've heard this more than once in my home. I don't have any gifts. I don't have talent. And of course, as a mom, I'm like, okay, here comes the list, and I'm going to start listing things. But what if we listed things before they had to get to that point where they felt they had no abilities, where they felt they had no talent? And if we can help be their greatest cheerleader and remind them of the gifts and unique abilities that God has given them, and how, not just what they are, but how they enhance our family and how they can be used by God.
And secondly, what we want to do is to cultivate unity over competition is want to make sure we're spending quality time with each child. Equal amounts of quality time as much as possible. Now, we have 4 daughters. Some of you have more than that, more children than that.
Yeah.
So working to spend quality time with each of our kids can go a long way. And for some, it's going to be a lot easier than others. There are, like right now, my daughter Violet is in soccer, and so I'm getting up and I'm going running with her every single day to help her kind of develop that, gain some stamina and all those sorts of things. That's an easy thing for me to do. That's an easy way for me as a dad to spend time with with that daughter. One of my daughters, she's a lot like me in personality, where she doesn't want to talk a whole lot. We speak a lot through music, and so with her, we may go for a ride down by the beach and just listen to music and then chat, say a couple words in between a few songs or whatever.
Very few words.
Very few words. But those are ways where it's easy with me to connect with them. There are other things that, I'm just not interested in, especially when they were young, like tea parties.
Oh, he did so many tea parties.
Like, I'm not a tea party person.
Well, you were.
I was, yes. But I had to take extra effort to do that, to connect with each one of my daughters. They have different likes, different talents, different abilities. And what I want to do is I want to try to spend quality time with them in their world, in their arena, in the things that are important to them. So for some, it's going to be so easy to connect. And we may, without even thinking about it, bend to spend more time with this child versus that child just because we naturally enjoy that thing with them. It's got to be a conscious effort and choice and plan to make sure that we're spending the quality time with each of our children that we need to spend.
The third way to develop unity over competition in your family is to provide opportunities to work together. No amens from the teenagers? Amen? No? Don't want to work more? Okay, well, we're telling your parents to make you work more, okay? When we work together, it builds unity. Maybe you've experienced that in your professional life. Maybe you've experienced that in church work. That's kind of where I live my life. And I know that I have experienced a deeper relationship with different women as I work with them. If we're on a team together and we're working on a project, all of a sudden I know them pretty well. All of a sudden I know their personality pretty well. And we have a deeper relationship because of it. And working together can really create unity. And so just give your children opportunity for chores. Doesn't that sound wonderful? You're like,
and
awesome.
There's less work for you to do, so it's a win-win scenario here.
Yeah, so it could be chores in the home, doing a project together. I think of even like yard work and things outside where we're all on a team doing this project together, and then when it's done, we enjoy it as a team. I think of our fire pit that we built in Iowa. We all worked together as a team. Everybody was out there digging. Everybody was out there shoveling and bringing the gravel in and all of that. And then we all sat around the fire and we had s'mores. And we could talk about, you guys worked so hard for this. We all did this. We built this as a team. Now we get to enjoy it as a team. So you can translate that into other areas of your home. But another way to build unity is to serve as a family. And we have lots of opportunities in our community to serve as a family. I know there's the sheltering tree, and there's Christmas Come True, and there's a lot of different community ways to serve as a family. And if you can get your family on board to serve together in those ways, that will develop unity. We have lots of opportunities to serve in our church. Did you have any idea we were going to go there? Plug for service in the church. Maybe there's something that you could figure out to do as a family and take over some sort of a ministry or plug into a certain area in the church ministry as a family. If you can work as a team, you will see unity over competition. And one of the best things that happened for our children is when they began to serve together in Kids Cove. They're not in this room right now because they're all in Kids Cove. And we have family prayer time for Kids Cove. And they pray for the different things that they are in charge of in Kids Cove. They pray for the other teachers in Kids Cove, and that's their ministry. They have taken ownership over that, and they work as a team, and they even collaborate sometimes. And what if we did this next Sunday? I think the kids would really enjoy this. And so we see this team unit developing over competition with each other, and it's been really beautiful.